All right. We're back. Episode 6.
Episode 6. We
Cousin Conversations.
We
got my boy Alex. You can go ahead and introduce yourself.
What's up? Alex with Rustic Barbershop.
Rustic Barbershop. So I actually went to barber college with Alex back in, 2018?
Yeah.
2018. He was finishing up, him and his brother. That's where I originally met him.
He taught me how to cut hair.
Nah, not even. He already knew when I got there. He was cutting the big dogs.
Who were you cutting, bro?
He was cutting Big Reed.
Oh yeah. Was the director?
Yeah, the director of the
with the big old slacks.
He would come fly every time he would come.
Yeah, well,
there was little cufflinks on.
There was 2 Reeds. Yeah, the younger one and then the older one.
Man, I saw one that looked like he would go to church all the time. I've seen him.
Oh, he talking about Mr. P probably.
Yeah, I think I saw him at TDLR at one of the tests when I went to as a model for one of the tests. He has those flags that están planchados.
But he was
Morenito.
What are they called? Like the people that judge you on the little test thing.
Is he one of them?
I don't even know.
No, it was just Reed.
I think just Reed is
the
right.
younger one. Yeah.
Probably little Reed then.
So man, tell us about you. When did you really start cutting hair?
Yeah, did you start like when in barber college, like 2017, 2018, or you had already had experience going into school?
Nah, man, I was the common story. So I was 14. I was going into, it was the summer before high school, and we grew up real poor, man, and so my mom would take us like every year to get a haircut, once a year, and it was with the lady at the house, and which is it's cool, but I was going into high school, so I was trying to look fresh, you know what I mean?
For sure.
I needed to look good, try to get the ladies,
I
needed all the help I can get, man. But so I asked my mom, I was like, hey, I said, Mom, can you buy me some clippers? And so she went to Walmart, and my grandpa always wanted a barber in the family, so she was like down. She's like, yep, let's do it. I've been waiting. So I go home and over the washer and dryer in the summer, trying to cut my hair, man, sweating, jacking myself up, dude, and I practiced and finally before high school I got it decent, and it was just a thing that we did. We grew up just doing it really to survive. We didn't have money for a fresh fade, so we would just cut each other's hair.
So it just started within the family, like siblings.
Yeah, and then friends, and my whole life was like that. I mean, cut my friend's hair, family would come over, and I mean, I had never been into a barbershop until I went to barber school.
Oh shit! Yeah. So everything was just done at home.
Yep.
Yeah.
I didn't even know anything about the barber culture, the barber world, nada.
You just knew how to cut hair, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, and I thought, I grew up thinking everybody really did that. I didn't even know much about barbershop, so that was kind of like how I got into cutting hair.
But the math, it doesn't add up to me. So you were 14, but yeah, you went to school in 2018 with Manny. What happened all those other years? Because you told me before we hopped on you're 40 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened? Why until 2018 get your barber license or go to a barber school? What happened all the other years?
I was a truck driver. Drove 18-wheelers. I mean, that's kind of what I did. That's how I supported my family. And so when backtracking, I would practice on my little brother in high school. Come here. So practice on him. And about a year later, I told him, I was like, dude, I said, I don't want to cut your hair anymore. I said, let me teach you how to how I do it. And then, so my brother started cutting his hair, 96, 97. And fast forward, I'm living my life. He's living his.
I don't speak English. I didn't even speak English in 1997.
No?
I really didn't. I swear.
None but Spanish.
No hablaba. I had just crossed the river for real. We really crossed the river. And I got to the apartment and they were like, if somebody speaks to you in English, just tell them, I don't know. So if somebody
That's the first thing you learned.
They were like, how you doing? I don't know. That's all they told me. Just say, I don't know. And
he did it.
I thought it meant I don't speak English. But now that I'm older, I was telling people, I don't know.
That's awesome.
Man, that's a long time. So you were cutting while you were truck driving?
Yeah, I mean, that was just kind of how we would live. When I needed a haircut, I have 2 boys. So I'd cut their hair. They didn't know anything. Matter of fact, when my son, after I was a barber, my son told me one day, he's like, Dad, in school, I thought every boy, his dad cut his hair. He was like, I didn't know that there was barbershop. So my son grew up thinking that's how life was.
Because that's what you did to him.
That's what
I
did. So his perspective in life was, all right, I got to go get a haircut by my dad in the restroom.
Yeah, yeah.
And so whenever he was like, Dad, man, we're at the cut and shave. That's where I used to work at. And he's looking around. He's like, I had no idea that this is how the normal for us was in the restroom and it's chones. You know what I'm saying?
Bañate.
Yeah. Sweep the floor when you're done. But no, my brother was in the Marine. He went to the Marine Corps. He always wanted to be a Marine. And when he got out in 2015, he was like, he tried plumbing, he tried AC, all these different trades, and he was just like, man, I don't like people, you know, I don't like. No, I'm sorry. He says, I don't like what I'm doing. This is not fun for me. So he goes, why don't we go to school to be barbers? And
so he brought it up to you.
Yeah, he brought it up to me, and I was taking classes for physical therapy because I was going to be a physical therapist.
You already had your mindset on getting out of the truck industry, pretty much.
Yeah, because I hated it.
Yeah. Were you not coming home every night?
No, I was, but it was just like I felt like I wasn't doing what I was supposed to be.
Okay,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like it wasn't, you know,
Purpose.
right. There was no purpose. I mean, I understand that people needed bread because I would deliver bread.
Yeah.
You know,
Bimbo.
That's
Sunbeam. It was Sunbeam.
Oh.
And but anyway, so I told my wife, I was like, what do you think? And she's like, you know, every time you cut the boy's hair, you stare at it. Kind of like, you know, you ever cut the grass at your house and whenever you're pulling out the driveway and you're like, damn, that looks good.
I did that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what I would do with them. And I didn't catch on to it. So she's like, I think that you like that. And I told my brothers, like, let's go. So we checked out a couple schools and I was like, man, I said, if we start this, I said, you can't quit, man, because he would quit everything, you know?
Yeah.
And I said, my life's different. Like, I have to complete something. And he was like, all right. And we did it, man. We started school together. We finished together in 2018. That's when I met Manny.
And when you were going to do the physical therapy, like that was just like a small course, or was it like a doctor? Like one of my friends is a physical therapy doctor. That fool went 9 years to medical school.
So, yeah, that was my plan, was to get my doctorate in physical therapy.
But
I'm glad I didn't shoot, man.
You figured you wanted to work with people, though? Like leaving the truck industry? Or just happened to be barbering type thing?
No, I didn't even leaving the truck industry was just because I hated it. Becoming a barber was because I had the passion, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when I wanted to do physical therapy, it was more of because me and my wife started another business in 2014, caregiving. So we're licensed by the state of Texas to provide caregiving services. And so I was like, man, I can get my physical therapy license and we can offer more services, you know? So it was more of...
To build on that business.
Right.
Okay.
And man, I just dropped it all, dude. I didn't, when I went to barber school, I was like, oh heck yeah, man.
So when you were in school, were you doing that full time, like 8 hours at the school type thing, or just like after work type of? Still had a job.
Sorry. No, when I was in school, I was doing my 30 hours because we had to do 30 hours. But I was still finishing up classes, so like I would be in school, in barber school. And I would have my anatomy book there, learning about muscles and stuff. And even Fernando, the barber that works with me,
okay, yeah.
He's like, bro, I remember when I used to help you study on muscles and
for a whole nother thing.
Yeah, because I just finished that semester.
Yeah. Okay,
It's crazy, man. Like you were about to be a doctor, and you just like, yo, I'm gonna be a barber. And then I know about that caregiving industry is a lot of money. There's a lot of money in that industry, especially with insurance. So you took on barber because you liked it, because you were passionate, not for the money. Because if you did it for the money, you would have gone a different route.
Right. I mean, even our caregiving agency, we did it part-time. We had 4 employees, and then me and my wife, so it was 6 of us. And just kind of doing it part-time, I mean, we generated over $100,000 doing that. That was what got me through barbering. If it wasn't for barbering, if it wasn't for this business, I don't even think I would have been a barber, because I remember starting off at the cut and shave. It was a new barbershop. We're new barbers. So like all odds are against us, And I remember sitting there all day, not cutting no hair.
Right there behind the Rose Ridge Veterinary Office, huh?
Yeah, by the library. Yeah. And I remember, oh man, I got a client. So then I'd go and I make, at the time, his prices were $20 for adults, 12 for kids. And he was charging 30% rent, right? Whatever we made, right? So if I did one kid, I would give him $4 and I would take home $8 for that day.
For that one kid.
For one kid, $8.
It'd be like that.
And but if it wasn't for my other business, man, that's what kept us afloat.
Yeah, until you were able to establish your clientele and build relationships in that industry.
Yeah, and after about 6 months, I think all barbers should give it when they're brand new to the industry. 6 months, I think they should give it, and then
they'll just grind, man.
Yeah, and it's not just being here. You got to grind, man. You got to talk to everybody, dude. You gotta, dude. I've gotten customers at my daughter's dance recitals,
So what do you think is the most important thing, bringing it up in public maybe, or just in general conversation, bringing it up to new people?
Oh yeah, general conversation, oh man, I like your haircut, where you go? Oh, okay, cool. I'm a barber. I just want to tell you, I like it. And then sometimes they'll be like, well, where do you cut? Oh, that's closer for me. Oh, okay, or whatever, right?
I mean, try or something.
Something happens to where you can create a relationship there,
all the time.
Yeah, and then it's anywhere, dude. And then it's always marketing. I always have my hat on and I always have my shirt on. Okay. It has a cut and shave, and it starts. I even have another shirt where it says, I'm a badass barber. No, I'm a something barber, right? But I have it pointed to me, so then people will look, and then they're like, "Oh, you're a barber," or they'll think it's funny, and it triggers a conversation because, in barbering, it's all about networking. It's networking. Yeah. I mean, really. I mean, you got to give a good haircut at the end of the day, but conversation, networking, and just making them feel comfortable, having a good environment. Sure. And I think that's how you'll grow as a barber.
Yeah. I think it becomes more than just a haircut at one point, right?
Yeah, for sure, man. Because I remember I've had customers tell me dude, my old barber didn't even talk to me. I just sit there, get the haircut, and leave. And
I've seen that.
Yeah,
I've seen that.
And so I always, I tell the other guys, I'm like, dude, talk to them, and respect. You see a senor that comes in, sir, you say sir. Your buddy comes in, then you can call him bro.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Man, so how'd you man, that's a transition in your life, way ahead. You had kids and transitioning to that, to a barber, now opening up your own shop, and then now you're gonna do great things in Fort Bend County. Tell us about that.
The festival. So the landlord where I'm at, where I rent the building from, he was my customer, right? And he has a really big network, Brian Sosa, and he's part of the Chamber of Commerce, and he's a really good businessman. So his connections had led us to cut hair at the back to school block party that Lamar CISD held.
Okay, yeah, I remember seeing some.
So they called him and they were like, "Hey, you have a barbershop there, right?" And the guy's like, "Yeah." Brian's like, "Yeah." And they were like, "Do you want to, we want to give out free haircuts to the kids. You think they'll be interested?" So Brian called me and I was like, he goes, "You want to coordinate this?" I said, "I'm down." So I got 8 barbers together. Long story short, we show up to the block party, and we did 70 haircuts in 4 hours between all 8 of us.
Y'all did it for free, or y'all got paid by the Lamar ISD?
No, we donated our time.
Okay.
And so when I was cutting hair that day, I remember thinking, people were just standing there watching us. They weren't even trying to get the haircut. They were just more intrigued of the art of barbering, because it's an art, man.
It intrigued them seeing the transition.
You got change. And barbering is an art. You cannot cut hair without having some kind of back. To me, in my opinion,
I feel like when I was younger, I used to draw a lot, graffiti.
Dude, I noticed barbers either draw or they'll they're just a creative. You got to do something creative to be a barber.
Yeah.
And anyways, they were watching us, right? So we go home. This was on a Saturday, so we go home. Tuesday, open shop, and I'm cutting hair, and I tell the guys, I'm like, "Hey, did y'all notice that everybody was watching us?" And they're like, "Yeah." And I was like, "What do y'all think if we host something like that to where people can cut hair?" And I was like, "Well, we can do a barber battle or something, and have people around this community, because there's not really nothing like that here, not even back that way, because not once you hit Beasley, it's all country."
You're done. Yeah, for sure.
And so they're like, "All right, let's do it." So, man, within 2 weeks, it transitioned from a barber battle to a barber festival, which is different, because now we're
just shooting ideas at each other that week, pretty much.
And then one of my customers is works with the company. He's like, "Oh, I like that idea. We're in. I'm down." Mm-hmm. And I was like, "Hey." So we kept on talking in front of customers, and then we're getting a lot of good feedback. So I'm like, I think we're onto something, So it evolved into this. There's 5 moving parts of the festival, And the hardest part is going to be to keep it within the barbering idea, right? The ideology of this event.
Because there's going to be so much going on, right?
Yeah, because like Knights of Columbus, they sit on 13 acres. And so you have the venue. Inside the venue is going to be the barber battle, right? Where we have 6 categories. And it's your traditional fastest fade, haircut and beard, creativity, right? The best creation. So you could do like design work, whatever. But we're also adding, we're going to call it Mr. Mullet and the best Edgar. So we're going to add those.
Hey, those Edgars are hard to cut, bro.
Hey, you can't tell me that.
I struggle with them Edgars.
Oh, man. But those are like popular right now, you know? So everybody wants.
I got respect for a barber that could kill an Edgar cut.
I'll do the mullet. I just won't do that one that looked like a helmet. Like,
yeah.
I hate that. I hate
like
that.
You hit the edge up and you're coming down and you got more hair coming down and you got to hit it again. And it's just, oh, bro, it's a struggle.
Don't cut nothing from the top. Just taper me up. Just taper me up. Bro, I hate that.
Yeah, they're challenging, man. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
So, earlier, I also heard you say something about trucks, something about cut, something about quemando llanta.
No quema qué? No quema qué?
You're going to have some truck shows
Yeah,
out there?
so we'll have inside the venue is the barber battle. Outside is where, we're going to have a vendor's market. So we have 50 spots for any business, small or large, to come in. They're going to give away stuff. They network within each other, right? Like Fort Bend County has 14 cities, bro. 14 cities. That's a lot in one county. This is not even Harris County. So, nothing big besides the fair. I mean, we don't really have anything big. So I was like, man, if we can make it family friendly and where businesses can grow, like, I think this is a great opportunity.
Everybody's going to love it then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll have the vendors market. They'll give away goodies. They'll network. And then we'll have, in the back is about 3 acres. So we can fit around 500 cars and trucks. So we have a DJ out of Houston. His name's DJ Addictive. He has a really big following within this community. So he's going to be our DJ. We already hired him. And we have a couple truck clubs that already signed up. But yeah, I mean, car, truck, motorcycle. We have our judges that we're getting together. Oh, I have five barbershops that are already involved to be a host and judges for the barber battle. Okay. But so we'll have the car show, and then DJ Addictive has his own models, so there'll be models out there. But they got to cover up, for sure. It's gonna be family friendly
for kids.
And then live music. So then we'll have live music. Right now we're looking at a few bands. I have an 80s and 90s rock band. I've been communicating with the manager at the Paul Wall, so we were thinking about having him, but then also we're trying to get America Cuevas. She's with the Grupo Terco. They're from Dallas. She has a really big following. She plays accordion. So I don't know. We're kind of stuck in the middle. We're talking to both bands or artists. So we'll see what who we can get out there, and then we'll have food trucks. You gotta have food, man. I gotta have some tacos.
I can see why it's gonna be so hard to keep it within the
Barbering.
center of the
Barbering,
festival.
right? So like,
what is your idea to make it, or what change do you think you should add to it to make it so involved around barbering?
City theme.
A city theme?
Yeah. So I have some connections where I can get like old street signs from the county, and we're gonna any barbershop that wants to be part of it. I'm gonna put like postas with the street signs. So say, for example, Elite Barber Parlor. It'll say Elite Barber Parlor Boulevard, the Rustic Barbershop Lane. And I'll have them throughout the tents, right? So it looks like roads, and then you have the street signs. So it'll say the Rustic Barbershop, circle, right? Or whatever, right?
So pretty much if there's other barbershops there, they have to pretty much rent out a little booth or a tent or whatever.
If they want,
want to
market them,
right?
their
like
business,
sell your stuff there or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I would have them inside the barber battle where it's more for.
And outside is more for the food and other type of
the festivals, right?
Like t-shirts or whatever. But the barber, you're gonna try to keep it within
in the venue.
building.
Yeah, all the like we're trying to get was JRL. And,
JRL.
I went to a barber battle where I met I can't think of his name right now, but he was a judge for them out in Pasadena.
The one barber, the
Stay Faded, Stay
Gold.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, right? It just happened about a month and a half ago.
No, I haven't. I didn't see it, but I think the one that's always judging around is
Stay Gold, the lady, right? The lady barber.
Yeah, she's cold, but then there's this Hispanic dude in Crosby. He's all over the place with Babyliss and with El Fantasma. and he's always judging at Franklin and other barber competitions.
Yeah.
Tito's his name.
Okay. I'll check him out.
I think I know who you're
I
talking
need to
about.
reach out to
Tito.
him.
Tito. I
He
don't
cuts
know
in
his
Houston, right? Tito the Barber, I think.
I don't know his last name, but he got a nice little.
I know who you're talking about.
Shout out Tito.
Nah, but we want to do. I want to do some street signs. We're gonna do face painting, so barber poles. We're gonna give out mustaches for the kids. I want to have like a little museum style where I get. I found some museums online. I need to reach out to them where they have like vintage chairs and then the history behind a chair, history behind barber poles.
That'd be dope.
And then like I want to have like you ever seen like the boards of like people, right? And then you can put your head in there and take a picture. It's like an animated thing.
Yeah,
so we want to do that to where like it's a barber cutting hair, and the kids can go put their head in there, and then family can take pictures.
Gotcha.
We're probably gonna give out the chains with the barber, the barber pole. So there'll be barber stuff all throughout. Cornhole boards that
just
are
to just remind them, kind
barber
of.
pole. Yeah,
Remind them that this is a barber.
Yeah.
Event.
Correct.
And that's nice.
How long did it take you to like come up with all of these like ideas and stuff for it? Like, did it start right away when you knew you had to start doing this?
Well, like I said, like 2 weeks, man. After about 2 weeks, dude, we were just thinking. And then like one thing about me, man, is I like to like walk or jog. I know you can't tell.
That's where the creative thing comes from, though.
Yeah, when I'm jogging, I just click. Oh snap! What if we do this? Or oh snap! What if we do that? And then I'll text the guys, and they're like, "Man, why you always like?" I'll text them like at 11 o'clock at
Random.
night. Yeah,
You be doing that shit too.
hey, you do that?
So man, you up? I just have this crazy idea. He's like, yeah, I'm up. What's up?
Hey, your wheels always got to be turning, dude.
They really do, man. And that's why, man, I'm glad we have you on the podcast, man, because that's how I am, like I'm always thinking of new ideas. But, man, that's crazy. But I'm going to ask you, you don't have to say in public, like you took on this responsibility. I can just, when I'm hearing you talk, is like, dude, you're responsible for so many things, so much logistics. One question, and then you answer the other one. How many people are helping you? And what are your benefits from this to you? Like, of course, you're going to put your barbershop name out there, but you're also going to put other barbershops out there. What is the benefit to you? Because you're taking on a lot of responsibility. Like you took on, man, that's crazy. Like, if there is numbers, if not, are you doing this just for the experience?
So how many people are helping? It's just me and the two guys. It's just us three for now. The plan is to create a team, right? So us three, we always sit down. We'll meet up, and then we just focus on that. We'll talk, and we have everything written down. So it's pretty organized still, right? But once we start getting closer, so for the barber battle, I have Phil from the Cut and Shave. He's going to be our host, and then I have a guy from Cut and Dreams. He's going to be a judge. Rudy from Envisions is going to be a judge. I reached out to Tanya from All Stars because I'm trying to find old barbers from Rosenberg, that have been in the game for a long time, right?
Sure.
I want them to judge. And the moment that I knew that I was doing something right was when I called one of the barbers, and he was like, man, about fucking time somebody did something. Excuse my language, bro. I don't know if you guys. He was like,
Manny curses all the time.
oh, no way, not Manny. He goes, about time. He goes, somebody needed to step up and do something. He goes, I have been waiting. He was excited, and I could hear it in his voice. And when I hung up, I was like, man,
I got to keep running with this.
Yeah, like I can't stop now. So next year in January, I already told the guys, I'll say, hey man, we're gonna meet up, the barbers and the host, the judges, and then we'll start getting together with that, and then I'll have them delegate tasks to other people. And then, so I have volunteers and people that help me outside. So I have somebody help running with the music, making sure everything's, because, even here, as small as this is, it was a lot of work, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Man, so that day I need to make sure everything's running right. So I have to find volunteers for that. MVC, the guy from MVC, Lupe.
Yeah.
He was like, dude, I'm in. He was like, we'll help. So everyone's, willing to partake because
I think everybody in Fort Bend has been wanting that. You know what I mean?
Dude.
In Rosenberg, especially like you said, those cities down south.
Yeah.
Especially those.
I just feel like, okay, so this is another thing. You know the Grammys of barbering, the Barber Grammys. You ever seen
Okay,
that?
yeah. Like
Yeah,
Vic
I heard
Blanta's
about
up
that.
there.
Dude, like
Chuka Torres.
I feel like no one down here gets looked at.
Yeah.
Nah.
You know, like I feel like I'm a great barber. Why didn't I get nominated?
Yeah,
You know what I'm
for
saying?
real, for real.
So
You don't have followers on Instagram, bro.
You didn't buy him.
I
didn't buy it.
Dang. Shots fired.
nah, but so I'm. That's funny, dog. It's true, kind of.
It's true, bro.
You know?
It's true.
But I want to make a wave to where people notice who we are now. It's time to step up and do something. And I don't have any fear, man. You know, of failing. I've failed too much. And then a little side note. Okay, so a lot of my motivation comes from. I was a couple of years ago. I was diagnosed with a illness where it's gonna get bad in the future. You know, and why not is my mindset now. You know, why not try to create a legacy for my family? You know, you have to. You know, we all have our time is. We all have a what is that phrase called? Our days are marked, right?
Yeah.
So,
And it's crazy because, I mean, we were talking about other podcasts before, and I know where you're coming from because, you know, a lot of people say, if you knew you had your days counted, you knew you had like a month left, like what would you do?
yeah.
Like, you just have no fear. You lose the fear. Once you lose the fear, it's crazy.
And I think that's where I'm at, man, because so I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, right? And eventually what's going to happen is, you know, I'm taking medicine. They cut it on early, so I'm good, you know. I mean, I have a good time. I live a normal life. No one will ever know unless I told you. But when someone with multiple sclerosis has a very severe, they can't walk, they can't think, you know, they can't feel. Like I have like a little numbness and tingling on my left thigh. That's kind of where this all started from. And I'm like, man, what is this? You know, and you know, God, you know, I'm a believer, so God, you know, I feel like He put my wife in my life because she's a nurse practitioner now, and she's very good at what she does, and she's very smart, and she's like, I think you have MS, you know, from all my symptoms, you know, and that's when we started getting it looked at. But anyways, besides that, man, you know, it's kind of why I have no fear. And then one time I remember I was listening to another podcast and I heard Jamie Foxx say, he says, what's on the other side of fear? You know, because they had asked him, they were like, do you get nervous when you go on stage? And he's like, hell yeah. He's like, but then one day I asked, I said, what's on the other side of fear? You know, and his answer was nothing. You go up to the stage, you overcome that fear, and there's nothing's gonna happen. Like, you know, so whenever you fear something, if you really think about it, you know, you're fearing nothing. You know, you only just defeat
you made it in your
yourself.
head pretty much. Nothing happened yet.
What's the worst that can happen?
Right.
Yeah.
What's the worst that can happen? And actually, I've been there. I've been in a tough situation where I lost it all, and I lost my fear. Like, I lost it all. I start from scratch. So, like, you know.
Yeah, you got nothing left to lose pretty much. So why not go all in? You know.
Right.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. So you like right now with this event at Fort Bend County, I feel like you're like, you know, you were hanging out with your homies and they're like, hey, we're gonna have a party in 2 weeks. You in? And you're like, yeah, because you're in the moment, and now you're like, crap.
But they're like, you got to bring the drinks though, and you got to make sure everybody shows up.
Yeah.
And you're in charge of the music and everything.
And now you're like, dang, what'd I get myself into? Do you feel like that right now?
Yeah, because like the other day for Thanksgiving, we're there, right? And I tried doing Thanksgiving a little different this year. Like, you know, instead of like eating and then everyone's asleep, I had moved all the couches on Thanksgiving, and I said, we're gonna dance today. So I put on some cumbias, and man, we were having a good time, you know. But I forgot that I had a Black Friday sale. So I'm sitting on the side on my laptop, and I'm like with my beer in my hand, you know, and I'm like working, you know what I mean? And my wife was like, what are you doing? You know, put up the laptop. And I was like, I can't. Like, it's almost midnight. Like, I have to have this ready. That way, you know, people can buy, you know, the admission tickets. And, you know, she was like, okay. I mean, she's very supportive. She's like, all right, do what you got to do, you know? Mm-hmm. But, yeah, man, I mean, you know, it's different.
That's how my wife is. She's supportive, but she's like, dude, where are you working? It's like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, Thanksgiving, every day.
Yeah.
So when is this festival?
May 6th.
May 6th.
And it's on a Saturday, man. And so, like, I know that's going to be hard for a lot of barbers.
Yeah.
But,
man, I'm going to just give
I feel like that's going to be better because there's gonna be a lot of other people that show up, you know, like that aren't barbers, but still. Right. But I'm sure just for the sake of it being a festival, there's gonna be a lot of barbers there.
Yeah, I agree, man, and I think it's okay to take a Saturday off. You know.
Yeah.
I mean.
Oh yeah.
Barbering's, you know, it's my world, but you know, family and taking care of my mental health is
comes first.
Yeah. So block off your booksy.
Oh yeah, I'll be there, man. I'll be there for sure.
Nah,
bro.
we'll be there for sure.
That's awesome, man. I appreciate it. You know,
we'll just let us know, you know, where we can get our admissions ticket, and you know, honestly, I mean,
I'm gonna get in the battle.
I'm gonna be that guy at the party. I'm gonna be that guy. I'm
like,
you
said,
man,
bro.
we'll be there, and we'll help you out in any way that we can. We, you know, we don't have a lot of resources, but what we do have, just hit us up. We'll you know.
Yeah, man. I think it's important. I think it's important for all the barbershops to come together for this event. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be huge, man. It's a big platform.
Have you reached out to the different barbershops around that might not have heard it, like the people that might not have followed you or something like that, just to put it out there?
I mean, I reached out to all the ones in Rosenberg, but it's hard, man, to do this and raise a family and you know,
and juggle all
working
of that.
And then the barbershop. So yeah, man, I would like to get the word out, but you know, so like when you reached out to me, I was like, I'm down, man, because you know I really need to figure out different ways of how to spread the word because I don't want this to fail, man. It's just too much at stake for everybody here in Fort Bend County, man. It's big. It's gonna be big.
And you're gonna kill it, man. In May, you're gonna kill it. And well, shoot. I mean, you said no more fear. You know, let's go. And I like that you're Hispanic. You know, I feel like as Hispanic, you doing this in Fort Bend County, like. My biggest thing as a shop owner is really bringing out, like, I feel like we're a minority, and I feel like a lot of our people, there's a lot of stereotypes for Hispanics, you know, especially, you know, gangs or, you know, majority ends up in jail, maybe not like African Americans, but I feel like there's not a lot of success in Hispanics. There's not a lot of names out there, and you doing this, I'm a very proud Hispanic, man. Like, I'm proud of, you know, crossing the border. Literally, I wasn't kidding. I didn't speak Spanish. I didn't speak English in 1997.
Yeah.
And I've been able to do this. And you being able to do this, man, I mean, you got my full support in what I can do. But
and I feel like it'll shine a lot more light on it being something regular. Because like you said, your boy didn't even know that barbershops and shit was something regular.
I know we were playing footsie.
But now, like, if this does hit off, right? And now they want it to happen every such and such years or every year or something, you know? Now it's going to really spread awareness of just barbering in general, you know, culture that you can really make a living from this.
Why don't you, just an idea out there, why don't you do some awards? Not just the barber competition, but why don't you, you know, dive in or have one of your younger barbers dive into Instagram within the Houston, Rosenberg, Fort Bend area, like, and find one of the top barbers that you like, man, these guys are nasty. Maybe you can set up some little trophies and set awards to, you know, this guy, you know, invite some barbers out. Give out some, like, the Grammys, the barber Grammys they do. Why don't you do it in Fort Bend County?
Yeah, Fort Bend County Grammys or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I just feel like
or
you
Texas
need to,
Grammys.
You need
Texas Grammys.
Hey, for real, Texas Grammys.
Dude, that'd be dope.
I just feel like you need to have information on these barbers too, right? To
Their
see like who's
too.
the best upcoming barber, like who you saw started like this, but like 6 months down, now they're like this, you know? Like you have to pay attention to them.
Yeah, you gotta be aware of social media.
Yeah.
I think that's one thing I'm in Instagram, you know. So lately I used to not be so much, but now I keep up with barbers. Like, I'm like, who's doing what, because I used to not be so. But I think you should at least, or give that job to your younger barbers. Be like, hey man, just stay.
Hey, so how did your whole hiring process work? Like whenever you got in there and you got these 2 barbers, were you just like, you're taking anybody, or you have like your little handbook, or you decided like you talked to them, or how does that work? Like how do you choose who worked for you?
Well, I only had 2 spots open, so
so it kind of narrowed down the options, right?
No, well, Fernando had to reach out to me, and you know, I already know Fernando. I know he does great work. That was like, I didn't even have to think about that one, you know. And then Renee was my customer. He graduated high school last year, and I remember talking to him, and while he was still in school, and he was like, "Hey, I want to be a barber, but like, what does it take?" And then that's when I started telling him, you know, it's commitment, it's hard work, it's a lot of hustle, you know, yada yada. And one day he texts me after he graduated. He's like, he sends me a picture. He's like, look, I'm in barber school. I was like, what?
Oh,
He's
shit.
like, he goes, I want to work with you. I was like, okay. I said, whenever I open up a barbershop, I'll hire you. And I just stuck to my word, man. You know, I gave him my word, so I did it, and you know, it was a no-brainer. You know.
Yeah, and those are the only people that've been working with you since you opened it.
Yeah, and they're great, man. I prayed about it and I asked God to just you know bring me some good barbers, man, good people. Really, you know, they don't even have to be a good barber, just good people, and they're good barbers and they're good people. So you know, it's they already know. You know, Renee knows. Hey, at 8 a.m. he's there, and when we close, he leaves. You know. He'll help clean on his own, and you know, so he understands what he has to do. Fernando, the same thing. So you know, it's just a blessing to have those two guys there.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's dope, man. That's dope. We appreciate you coming on the podcast.
Heck yeah, bro.
For episode 6. Now we could hopefully get the word out more about the whole Barber Festival.
Yeah. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
It's exciting. I'm excited for it. You know what I mean? So.
Wait, why we cutting it short? I mean, I ain't got nothing to do.
Sure, we can keep going if y'all want.
Hey, I'm in. Just let us know when the camera...
When it dies.
When it dies.
One time we tried to record a podcast after work, bro. And we're chopping it up for like 20 minutes probably. And one of the barbers went to go get a towel and he was like, are y'all supposed to be recording? Or the screen was blacked out, bro.
Yeah, we're going on for like 15 minutes and not enough.
We had all the audio, no fucking video, bro. I was like, damn.
And that's so funny. Yeah. Audio cast.
You know, off camera, we're talking about Squire, we're talking about Booksy, we're talking about all this, and I kind of just wanted to share with you what I did. You know, if it can help you, is man, I was very stubborn. You can ask Manny. I was kind of that old school dude. You know, like, nah, I don't like this new technology. You know, the whole Google My Business, all this. It was a no for me. Like, man, no, I don't need all this technology. But once I figured out like how to put my business on Google, how to put my business on Yelp, how to put my business on any platform that I could get my hands on when it was free. So Google is free. You can just, and then I actually started paying for ads, and then I saw a difference. Like, you know, we were getting more phone calls. Eventually Google kind of died out on me. You know, I wasn't getting as much. So when I turned on my Google ads, then I turned them back on. They're more efficient. And the reason I jumped on Squire was because SEO, search engine optimization, when you get that website, it's going to be able to funnel, you know, instead of paying Google all that money that I paid like $1,500 like 3 months, you know, just to get foot traffic in here because we were slow. We're only been open 8-9 months. Yeah. But just to get some of that rolling. But Squire is going to be able to get a website where it's going to be able to funnel some clients to you. They call it funneling. Right. Because they have certain wording on their website. And then, of course, the app. But they're going to be integrated through Google, through Yelp. So, you know, look into SEOs like Google My Business, all that stuff. Utilize it. A lot of that stuff is free. And I mean, the only reason I'm going with Squire is honestly the website and being able to use that funneling. Yeah. I spoke to a barber, owner of a barber, $1.3 million gross a year barbershop in the Woodlands. Yeah. He pays $500 a month to a company that funnels clients just to him. And they're packed Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. He has like 12 barbers, man. I mean, they're generating.
I think that's the key for like a commission shop, right?
For sure. He's commission.
Like, yeah, exactly. And I mean, I feel like that's how you win. But at the same time, you have to make sure you got enough traffic to keep people there, to keep your barbers happy, right?
Yeah.
Those are your first.
He's cutting out paychecks for $1,500, $2,000 a week. Yeah.
So now everybody's happy at that point.
If you can cut somebody a check for $2,000 a week at 60% commission, and you keep 40, man, you're killing it. Honestly, that's where I kind of want to head to. But I still want to respect my barbers that are here right now with Booth Friend, and I'm enjoying it, you know. I don't know what the future holds, but, you know, you told me, you know, you don't have a lot of square footage. So you got to be able to maximize that later down the road. I mean, you know, right now I'm just kind of floating through. I just wanted to share that with you, like my ideas. I don't know, maybe I'll open a second shop once I figure out these SEOs and this funneling. Maybe I'll open up a second shop where it'll be just commission and then keep these guys over here, my homies with Booth Rent, you know?
Yeah, the OGs.
The OGs.
Yeah, man. Like, I mean, I really appreciate them, man. Like, Manny takes a lot of pride in what we do here. And, you know, he reps our brand. A lot of these guys rep our brand, man. And it's so beautiful to see other people kind of, you know, joining you. And I personally
have your vision.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it was hard, like with your barbers? Because I feel like it's hard just in the barber era for somebody to say, let me stop representing me. Because you're so taught in school that, like, it's your business, you're a self-contractor, whatever. So like to give that up to go represent a shop now, right? To represent the Rustic now. Do you feel like that was hard for them, or they were kind of on board right off the rip?
No, they're on board. Yeah, it's good. I think they have their own plans, and we talked about it. Where they want to be owners as well.
Mm-hmm.
But Renee, I told him, I said, hey man, give it a couple of years first, man. Learn. You have a lot to learn.
Yeah.
And so he is, and Fernando, he's been in the game for 4 years, and so whenever he's ready, like I support him,
Yeah, for sure.
But you're right, that's one thing I kind of not disagree with the barber schools, but I don't think that they should teach everyone to be their own boss, open up a barbershop. I don't agree with that.
It's not for everybody.
No, because you have people that are owners, and then you have people that are just workers. They don't share that hustle or that
what it takes.
Yeah.
They're
They're
not
just good at cutting hair.
Yeah, and they just want to cut hair and go home.
Yeah.
But the school really does push for you to be an owner.
One of these guys last year, maybe in 2021, I had this guy, Jay. He's Franklin Barber School. And he was like, yeah, man, they're telling us at school that barbershops are dead, that it's all about getting your own suite. You're your own boss. Like, that's what they're teaching them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then there's people, and I've seen it, going like, oh, yeah, I'm my own boss. They get their suite, paying $250, and then they think I'm a boom because now I got a license, and now they're stuck paying $250 a week, and there's no
clientele.
Flow. There's no clientele. And I think that's kind of messed up from the barber schools to be doing that. Like, it's okay to be your own boss, but then, it's also okay to depend on another barbershop until you build yourself.
And I feel like you got to kind of get the feel in a shop. Like, you'll feel when it's busy, like, okay, now I'm moving, now I'm doing this, now I'm doing that. And then learn how to handle that pressure and then be able to go do your own thing. You know what I mean? Because you're bound to run into some pressure if you just go off the rip and get your own little suite and try to do what you do,
And not everybody's built that way. A lot of these barbers, like even in the shop, they pay booth rent. They're like, oh, well, I'm my own boss. Like, I could do it on my own.
Yeah.
And you can perceive that. They might not say it, but I can perceive that with their body language. And I'm like, okay, bro, go spend. Manny spent $4,000, $5,000 on his suite when he opened it up. Go spend $4,000 or $5,000 on a suite and pay $250 a week, and then pay your own ads, pay everything. And then you come tell me how it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they've never experienced that,
That's why when I came back into a shop after leaving a suite, like I had so much respect for whatever shop I was working at because I knew the owner was taking on 10 times the toll I was, So I would stay late or clean up or do what I had to do, put in my respects.
And Manny does it here, and I appreciate it. And I think because he understands what goes behind the scene, a lot of these guys just come in and cut and leave. Yeah. I don't put a lot of responsibility on these guys. This is my shop. This is the way I feel. Like, this is my shop, and I got to clean. I got to do this. If they're willing to help me, that's cool. If not, but then at the end of the day, then, and Manny knows, I'll say it publicly, Manny knows, like, if you show me love, man, I'm going to show you love in many ways.
It should be that way,
But
over there at the Rustic, it's kind of hard because we're like kind of in the country. And so, like, where we're at, man, there's nothing but dirt and, like, the pavement. There's no concrete. So it gets inside the barbershop. So everything is always dusty. So the guys, sometimes I'm like, hey, y'all, slowly, let's clean up, and I get them to help me because I want them, since it's so small, like, all three of us can knock it out real fast,
For sure. And I feel like with it being so small, you're kind of held more accountable, or you kind of feel like, okay, I got to put in a little bit because obviously you're going to be singled out if you're the only one not putting in work. You know what I mean?
And that hair gets everywhere too, man. Like, since it's so small, dude, hair is everywhere. Yeah.
I bring a vacuum once in a while. Like, I bring a vacuum.
Yeah,
you're like, that. Man, vacuum. Nah, I bring my vacuum, and it makes a big difference under the station.
Yeah.
Not all the time, but yeah, some of these guys, I don't think they don't understand. And a lot of barber, like, we always talk about the barber industry. I don't think they know what it takes to be a barber. I feel like they diminished, like all these celebrity barbers, they diminished what really is to be a barber, what it is to love the barber game. Like, it's all about how many followers I have and how
good I am at using paint. For real. How good can I put these enhancements on them?
Yo, you seen that one video where this guy's painting and then he uses makeup, like blush, and then fades it out?
Oh, bro.
You haven't seen it? Man, he starts painting as a burst fade. He starts painting like this. You seen it? And then, like, right here, bro, he literally grabs makeup, what the women use for foundations, I promise you, he starts putting it here,
shit.
here, and then he starts fading it up, bro, with paint. Literally, this guy just did makeup, and he took a picture and it looked sick. But you could like pinta de negro, like black, and then he uses the foundation from women, and then he does it, and then he erases this line. Bro. Like he uses those little foams women use. I see my wife. I don't know what it is. It's my wife. He's erasing those lines. I'm like, yo, like he really just did a makeup.
It's just getting watered down a lot, bro.
I mean, it's an art. That like Rob the Original.
Mm-hmm.
That dude's an artist, bro.
Yeah.
I wonder if he could fade like a sick fade. Like
I know. I've never seen his haircuts because I know him.
He specializes in designs, right?
Yeah.
So same thing. I don't think he's ever posted like a regular fade or something like that.
Bro, I do like one design, bro. So all my customers.
I only do the 3 lines. The 3 lines in the back. That's
I do the one that's like it goes up and then it kind of curls off. That's it.
That little Z one.
And if they want something different, I just flip the curls.
I started doing the ones that go like this, like the little like
the little wings.
Somebody scratched. No, like como una, like some claws coming out like that. 3 little lines.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about.
Man, I used to love doing designs when I first started. I used to love it, man.
Dude, so I feel like for some reason back in the day, because when I first started cutting, it was like 2012, 2011 maybe, and like so there wasn't a lot of YouTube. There wasn't a lot of big shit on YouTube. So I feel like when it did come out, or the designs you would see at that time, they were cold, bro. The people back in that era, you know what I mean?
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
I think.
For real, though. I feel like now, like 2016, 2017 up, it's kind of rare to see like a new barber be coded some designs.
I think it depends on where you're at, though. Because isn't it like California, aren't they like really big,
on designs?
Designs or?
I'm not sure.
Well, Manny was... he was looking at my Facebook page as well. I said, thank you. One day he was like, yo, like, yeah, I seen you used to do some crazy stuff. I used to do the rockets. I used to do all that.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, like, so I've been like really, really in the barber industry since like 2010.
Wow.
2010, I started working in a shop. No Instagram, no YouTube, no nothing. I loved it. And I love doing designs, bro. Mm-hmm. I did the Monterrey logo, the soccer team. I've done the Astros, the Texans. I used to do all that. Dope. And I used to get down and like do like graffiti and stuff.
You know who's good? Miguel from Guerreros. You follow him?
I've heard of him. I don't know who he is.
He's actually really good, man. And he like now, that's right, down in Rosenberg. A lot of people get designs from him. Yeah. Like that's his, because like a barber's going to attract what they're good at, right? So like if you're good at just doing designs,
you're going to get the most of that.
Yeah. So like I feel like for me, like my clientele is fades. So like a lot of my customers get bald fades. Mm-hmm. So
you do more fades than tapers. Okay.
So that's
like
what I attract. Yeah. So that's what I attract. So like with Miguel, I think all the guys that want designs go to him.
Yeah. I'm going to start getting good at number 3 on the side with scissor on top.
Easy money.
15-minute cuts. Come on.
Easy money.
Man, that's easy money, bro. Fast, dude.
For real.
How fast do you think you could do a gentleman's cut like that now?
Oh, man.
Now that you've been in the game for a while?
I would say, if I was really just trying to rush, probably like 12, 13 minutes.
Yeah.
For sure.
Heck yeah,
easily
man.
10, 12 minutes.
Detachables
Easily.
on the side. Scissors on top, blended in.
I would just use a 2-guard and then use my scissor to
blend everything.
Everything. Just scissor it out.
I have a few like all scissor cuts.
And that's it. You done, bro. 12
Hey,
minutes.
you ever done an all scissors haircut?
Yeah,
I
have a few guys.
Ooh, those are tough.
Okay, so here's the thing. I have people that are all scissors, which I do. I do like the whole paneling, the whole sectioning. And when I finish all that, I still hit like the bottom sideburns or like the back with like scissor over comb, just because I feel like I can't get a good grip.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have a certain way you cut that bottom part, or you do scissor over comb?
You talking on the left side or the right side of the neck?
Right here.
Say like the nape, or like right around the edges. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean I feel like I can. I think I've learned now over time. I used to have trouble with certain angles, but I mean.
But you usually just scissor over comb that bottom part.
Yeah.
Same.
I use a lot of flat top. The flat top comb.
Yeah.
Clip over comb.
For sure.
I probably use that more actually.
Yeah.
Than anything. But I have a few scissors. Man, I love doing all scissors.
Because when I first got in, I worked at a salon. So
Shears, my bad. Shears.
Yeah. Get it right.
Cheers.
So when I worked at a salon, the woman that would do like, obviously she specialized in women, but when she would get a gentleman's cut, she did the whole thing with scissors, like the edge up with the scissors, the edge
I've
up.
seen that.
Yeah, everything. And even she would never do like scissor over comb.
I
She would
think
just
if you-
like grab it real close to the head, you know, and everything would be.
So I think like
Everything
for
will be
me,
good.
like like a barber's eye, right? We have a barber's eye, right? So you want it to be perfect. So that's when you pull out the T outliners and you try to like make it. Like, when it's all scissors and you outline it like that, it's still a little rough,
Yeah.
you know,
It's still
which
bulky,
is okay.
You know?
But you know, some people like that. Some people like it. Like they don't like.
They don't like the sharp
some,
lines.
Some clients are.
I
like,
get a lot. I get a lot
don't
of
want it
business
sharp.
owners that are like, don't put the razor on the top line. Don't line up the top mustache.
Don't do it sharp. They don't like
Yeah.
it sharp. It's a different type of presentation, like
Yeah.
the ruggedness.
Mm-hmm.
I used to work at with this lawyer back in 2010 when I was a barber. I was working at a barbershop. He wanted me to play for his soccer team, and the barbershop owner wouldn't let me play on Sundays because I had to work. And he was a lawyer, and he owned a whole bail bond business. He was like, quit your shop. Just come work for me. And I was getting a paycheck. And then the barbershop was like, all right, fine, you can work in the afternoons. So I was working bail bonds in the mornings, and I was working in the barbershop in the afternoon. And this guy, 2010, was paying $80 for a simple haircut. I'm not, maybe like a 3 on the sides. But he would get like like on with the razor. How do you call that?
Like
when
the
you're
texturizing one.
texturizing. So literally, they would cut this with the whole razor, texturizing down, and they would razor this out, and they would use zero clippers, like no clippers. And I've had some clients tell me, scissors and razor,
No clippers.
no clippers. Some of them don't like.
They don't like that sharp line. Yeah.
They don't
And I
like-
love it. You know,
I like mine to look
Yeah.
sharp, but you know, man, when I get those like those guys that show me the pictures like a hair salon style, and like, oh yeah, they don't even want the C cups, they don't want nothing. I'm like, I feel like I'm not doing my
Yeah.
job
I
correctly.
feel like I'm half-assing the cut
Yeah.
at that point, you know?
but that's how they want it.
Yeah. I kind of like
Like that.
I
have
avoid
those
doing
clients?
edge ups. So like I'll do it and I'm like, you want to edge up or you good? You know, because sometimes I feel like some foreheads they don't need an edge up.
Yeah, they don't need it.
Now
You
they
know?
don't need a job.
That's why I don't got no edge up, man. Y'all some hoes, man.
I forgot about the buttons, bro.
You
This
hear
whole
these-
time.
Bro, you hear them getting on me?
He said it. I didn't say nothing.
Yeah, I was just laughing.
I was laughing at the way he was laughing.
Man, yeah, man. But yeah, so I guess we'll wrap it up. Thanks for being here, man.
Yeah, appreciate
Thank you
it.
for
Thanks a lot, man. It was awesome.
No
This was
problem,
a lot
yeah,
of
bro.
fun.
we'll be there quemando llanta K in May.
Yeah, for sure.
Get my
Yeah.
cut.
Make sure y'all follow me on Instagram at Fresh Cut Manny.
The Rustic Barbershop _
And jcuts_elite on Instagram. So, guys,
Get your ticket. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
go ahead. Say it, announce it.
Go to Eventbrite and then type in Fort Bend County Barber Fest and you'll see it there. Right now we have pre-sale for $30. Maybe if I'm feeling good, we can do like a
Little bundles.
no, like your followers can put in a code. Maybe I give them a
Oh,
discount
yeah,
or something
yeah.
like that. or
Yeah,
something,
for sure, for
you know.
sure.
Yeah, just send it to us, and then we'll throw it on there. And well, guys, God bless you guys, and have a
That's it. We'll see you on the next one.